Hi, Keisha. It's your grandmother. How are you coping with the lockdown? You seem to be unable to answer your phone, so I thought I'd better make you a video. Your father told me you've broken up with Esther. I'm sorry about that. She seemed to make you happy, even with those, Are they really fashion? Anyway, as your grandfather would say, there are plenty more fish in the sea. And that man should know. He likes fishing more than J.R. Hartley. So, family update. Martha and Michael are still freelancing. They're helping out on the moon. They've taken August with them, which I'm not happy about, but obviously it's not my place to interfere. Oh, and that is classified, so no posting it on Reddit or whatever you young people are using these days. Letitia's still working for a charitable earth, but they're letting her work from home, so she'll probably catch pneumonia in that damp flat, but she won't listen to me. And me, well, I am staying with you. I was having my home office decorated at the time when they announced the lockdown, and she invited me to stay with her, and I thought, well, it's better than being on my own, so here we are. She won't stop dusting. Just because we can't have visitors doesn't mean we shouldn't be ready for visitors. Do you think the Queen lets her skirting boards get mucky? I know. What you don't know, Keisha, is how me and her became friends. So, I thought I'd tell you. So, you know what your Aunt Martha does for work, but you've never been told how she ended up, alien hunting, say a chip. There's not even a job title. A few years ago, when you were still very small, Martha was working in a hospital, and that hospital got transported to the moon. She ended up travelling through space and time with a man called the Doctor. And his nemesis, I suppose the word would be, his nemesis, he ended up becoming the Prime Minister. And it was unpleasant. Martha ended up rewinding time, which is why nobody remembers it except for us, your family. We all remember. Your father didn't want to tell you, but I'll listen to him when he gets a proper job. Anyway, not long after that, the Earth was dragged across space by robots called Daleks, and Martha and some other friends of the Doctor help put everything right. I know you thought you millennials had it tough. It was a strange time. And it was during that time that I met. She's my best friend, I suppose, now. My best friend, Sylvia Noble. So, Sylvia's daughter, Donna, well, she had travelled with the Doctor as well, and Martha introduced us. Neither of us had been a huge fan of the Doctor, dragging our children off through time and space. And we both liked a glass of wine. So, we became friends. Yes, we're very, well, we're very different in many ways, but sometimes those differences can be the basis for the best sorts of friendships. That's what I find. So yes, I have been staying with Sylvia and her father, Wilfred. You haven't met Wilfred. He's infuriating. Sometimes we have a good laugh, usually at Sylvia's expense, but well, he just won't do as he's told, Keisha. He's even worse than your father. We kept finding him trying to sneak off to his allotment. I survived the war and I survived the Daleks invading. No virus is going to keep me down. I had to take him to one side and point out that this wasn't just Sylvia being bossy. I mean, she can be very controlling. She acts as if Donna's still a teenager. And I had to explain to him that this quarantine is what we need to do to stay safe. This isn't like the war or a cause where we can fight or rebel. We just have to stay at home. Anyway, he's dug up Sylvia's chrysanthemums in the back garden and planted a load of carrots out there. So that's keeping him busy for now. And then, last night, something happened. Yes, something happened. So Sylvia was moaning again because she was missing her Wednesday girls. I've tried to show them how to chat online, but it's like herding cats, a screen of chins and noses, and none of them would know how to unmute themselves. Although that's not the worst thing in the world, is it? So we were having some wine, and I was scrolling through Twitter, and then, the end of the world. I put my glass down on the table, but I hadn't used a coaster. It was an accident. I was distracted. She snapped at me like I was a child, and it turned out that she'd been angry at me since Monday because I'd used the word toclophane during a game of Scrabble, and she hadn't thought it was a real word. And I was angry because on Tuesday she'd made lunch early when she knew I had a Zoom meeting with a client at 12. And it transpired that she had still been angry about the previous evening's Scrabble game. And then it all came out, didn't it? Every little thing either of us had ever said or done. And then she threw her glass of wine all over me. And that was that. We just stood there in silence, fuming at each other. Silence. And then we realised the house was silent. He hadn't come out to find what we were arguing about. He hadn't come to tell us off. Wilfred. Well, we called out for him. Nothing. We went out into the garden. No sign of him. We ran back inside, and by this point Sylvia is, well, you know. We went into his bedroom. We knocked on the door. No reply. Silence. I took Sylvia's hand. And we pushed that door open and there he was on his bloody computer, with his headphones on. He turned to us and he said, "Surprise!" At which point I think Sylvia was going to go for him, but then we saw what the surprise was. Wilfred had bought himself a webcam and... Oh, Keisha. They were all there on the screen. Your mum, your dad, Letitia, Martha, Michael, little August, Donna and her husband, Sean, even your grandfather and his latest fish. So Wilfred had spent the previous few days organising a big family group chat, trying to find a time when everybody could be together for me and Sylvia, because he'd been able to tell that we were. Oh, we were struggling because the whole situation isn't something we can fight. And me and Sylvia, we spent our lives fighting. I've had to fight to get this career. We've both had to fight for our families, trying to protect them, encourage them, keep them safe, but also keep them passionate and brilliant. This isn't a teacher telling me Martha can't be a doctor. This is, well, it is what it is. Anyway, they were all there. Our brilliant, passionate children. And your grandfather. We spent over an hour just talking, seeing each other's faces, laughing. And then eventually everyone had to go, so had to go get on with this strange new temporary life that we're living. And that's when I realised I was still holding Sylvia's hand. Holding my best friend's hand. But there was one really important person who wasn't there. Your father told me you were in your room because you were upset about what had happened with you and Esther. And I know right now that your arguments may seem like the end of the world, like me not using one of Sylvia's coasters. But it isn't. Maybe you'll stay together and maybe you won't. But it isn't the end of the world. I'm here. We all are. Here for you. And we all just need to remember what is important. We're all struggling, we're all having fights. Because we all just want to go outside. But we can't. But we can do this. We really can. Because we are brilliant. So when you watch this, come on. Give your ancient bossy boots grandmother a call. Oh, that's you. You're calling me.